The most dangerous thing isn't that you're not improving, it's that you are improving, but you don't realize it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's conversation is for people who feel tired after trying for a long time, but still can't clearly see the results yet. Maybe you've been learning English, working on yourself, learning a new skill, trying to change your life. But deep inside, there's still a small voice asking, am I really making progress? Or am I just wasting my time? And honestly, I think many people don't quit because they're lazy. They quit because they can't see their own progress. Today, I invited Noah here to talk about this feeling together. Hey Noah, welcome back.
If you've been trying for a long time but still can't see the results, then this conversation might be exactly what you need today. Hey Owen. Hello everyone. Honestly, I think this is something almost everyone experiences at some point. Because progress is strange. Sometimes you're growing a lot, but you're the last person to notice it. And I think that's why so many people quit too early. Not because they aren't capable, but because they believe, if I can't see big results yet, then maybe nothing is changing at all.
You know, people always say, starting is the hardest part. But honestly, I think continuing is much harder. Continuing when your life still looks normal. Continuing when results are still invisible. Continuing when nobody notices your effort yet. That's the real challenge.
Exactly. At the beginning, motivation feels easy. You feel excited. You make plans. You imagine a better future. But after weeks or months, everything becomes quieter. You're still studying, still trying, still improving little by little. But because the progress feels slow, your mind starts doubting everything. And honestly, I think that's the moment many people lose. Not because they lack potential, but because they mistake slow growth for no growth.
That's so true. I remember when I first started learning English seriously. At first, I expected fast improvement. I thought, if I study every day for a few months, I should already feel confident. But reality was completely different. After months, I still spoke slowly, still translated in my head, still got nervous speaking simple sentences. And honestly, there were moments when I thought, why does this feel so slow? But looking back now, I realized something important. Even when I couldn't see huge progress, my brain was still changing every day.
Exactly. I think growth often happens silently first. One day you suddenly realize. You understand more, you think faster, you feel more confident, and things that once felt impossible now feel natural. But those changes usually happen gradually. That's why many people don't notice their own progress while it's happening.
You know what's sad? I think many people are actually improving right before they quit.
Exactly. And honestly, that thought really stays with me. Imagine someone learning English for 8 months. At first, they understand almost nothing. Then slowly, they recognize more words, understand more sentences, become more comfortable listening, and stop translating every single word. But because they're not fluent yet, They think, I'm still bad at this. So they quit, without realizing how much progress had already happened.
That's true. And I think progress becomes dangerous when it's gradual. Because gradual improvement is hard to notice day by day. It's like looking at yourself in the mirror every morning. You don't notice change immediately. But after 1 or 2 years, everything is different.
Exactly. That's why consistency is powerful. Small effort feels weak in one day, but repeated for hundreds of days, it changes your entire life.
There's a story I always remember whenever I feel discouraged. The story about bamboo trees.
Yeah, I love that story. For the first few years, a bamboo tree barely grows above the ground. If you only look at the surface, it almost looks like nothing is happening. Imagine watering something every single day, while seeing almost no visible results. Most people would quit. Most people would think, this isn't working. But underground, the roots are still growing. And once the roots become strong enough, the bamboo suddenly grows incredibly fast.
Honestly, I think people are exactly like that sometimes. There are periods in life where your progress is invisible. But that doesn't mean it's meaningless. Maybe right now, your mindset is improving, your discipline is improving, your habits are improving, your confidence is slowly growing. Even if nobody can see it yet.
Exactly. And I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting visible success too early. Real growth usually starts underground first. Just like bamboo roots.
And honestly, that in 99 degrees example feels very similar. The difference between 99 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius is only 1 degree. But that 1 degree changes everything.
Exactly. And sometimes people quit at 99 degrees Celsius. Not because they're weak, but because nothing has happened yet. That's the heartbreaking part. Because sometimes life changes suddenly. After a very long period of invisible progress.
I think many people underestimate how close they actually are. Sometimes the result isn't far away. Sometimes your confidence is almost there, your skill is almost there, your breakthrough is almost there. You just can't see it clearly yet.
Exactly. And honestly, some of the most successful people are simply the people who continued a little longer. Not necessarily smarter. Not necessarily more talented. They just didn't stop at 99 degrees.
I also think people underestimate small daily habits. Because one day of effort feels tiny.
Yeah. Reading 10 pages feels small. Practicing English for 30 minutes feels small. Going to the gym once feels small. But life is interesting. Small actions repeated consistently become massive over time. A tiny improvement every day may feel invisible now. But after 1 year, you become a completely different person.
That reminds me of something. Imagine 2 people. One person improves just 1% every day. The other person keeps waiting for motivation and never stays consistent. At first, they look almost the same. But after enough time, their lives become completely different.
Exactly. That's why success is often less about intensity and more about consistency. People think successful people always work harder, but many times, they simply continued longer than everyone else.
So Noah, what would you say to someone who feels discouraged right now? Someone who feels like their effort isn't working yet?
I would say this. Please don't give up too early. Just because your progress is invisible right now doesn't mean it isn't real. Maybe your roots are still growing underground. Maybe you're already at 99 degrees. Maybe your life is changing quietly, in ways you still can't fully see yet. And honestly, sometimes the biggest difference between successful people and everyone else is simply, they kept going a little longer.
But that honestly stayed with me.
And I think people need to hear this more often. Slow progress is still progress. Invisible growth is still growth. And your effort may already be changing you more than you realize. So if you're still trying, please keep going. You may already be much closer than you think.
I think many people truly needed this conversation today.
I hope so. Because sometimes people don't need loud motivation. They just need someone to remind them. Your effort is not meaningless.
Thank you so much for being here today, Noah. And thank you everyone for listening to today's podcast. If you're still quietly working towards something in your life, don't stop too early. Maybe your roots are still growing. Maybe you're already at 99 degrees. Maybe your life is closer to changing than you think. Don't forget to subscribe for more English conversations and life discussions. And we'll see you in the next episode.